So I'm going to be sounding a little bit funny through this whole thing.
Oh yeah, you're not sounding 100%.
So, risks of child rearing. Um,
Child rearing.
I was putting her to bed on a Friday night, and she was gonna jump into the bed from the footstool, which I was like, all right, fine, let's do it. And I got behind her to like catch her if she didn't make the jump.
Yeah.
But instead of jumping forward towards the bed, she jumped up first and then forward, and she collided the underside of her head with the bottom of my jaw.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it bit down on my tongue, real bad. Like she ends up going into the bed. I immediately like grab my jaw, like whoa, like saw stars. Started stumbling out of the room. She's like, "Daddy, what's wrong? Daddy, what's wrong?" I'm like, "It's okay. Everything's fine. Wasn't your fault. Just stay in bed." I stumble into the bathroom and just start spitting blood into the sink.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it caught my tongue real bad and just like shredded my tongue. Well, of course Stella doesn't listen to me. She follows me into the bathroom. She's like, "Daddy, what's going? Oh my God!" I'm just raining blood from my mouth. I'm like, "It's okay, it's all right." But in my head, I'm thinking, I don't know if it's all right. Can you need stitches for a tongue? Because I might need stitches for my tongue. Like I'm just like just blood was pouring out of my mouth. And I was just spitting it out, and I'm like, okay, go back in bed, drink your milk, I'll be in a second. I ended up, to put her to bed, I ended up having to wet like 3 or 4 rags and just go in there and jam them in my mouth and hold them in there like a mouth guard to bleed into.
Oh
And
God.
she's in bed just like, "Daddy, it was an accident. I didn't mean to." I'm like, "I know, it was an accident. It's okay. Just go to sleep." "Daddy, you look weird with the rag in your face." I'm like, yeah, I know I do.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and for whatever reason you have decided to tune into a horrible gaming podcast. We welcome you to the show, but I am not alone, nor am I ever. With me is...
Neil, aka a tiny wizard.
All right. And we got a couple of disclaimers. We got one disclaimer before we do the credits. As you can hear, I'm kind of talking out the side of my mouth, and that is because I have been up and down with this tongue-biting accident sort of thing. I'm okay. I just had a minor injury, which makes it a little bit hard to talk, especially after basically 3 days of talking. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me. As far as credits go, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're noticing our fancy graphics behind those wonderful timestamps that I put a lot of work into. Those are provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And, of course, you heard the theme song at the top of the show. The man who does that is my brother. He is the man who makes the music, Nick Van Slyters. He makes the theme song for this and all of the shows here at OMGW, and we thank him for
At
that.
OMGW. This is
I'm
now...
sorry. OMGW.
At OMGW.
I got OMGW on the brain because I'm working on it so hard. Like I'm in the thralls of it.
Do I have to do my voice now for the whole podcast?
No, no, your voice doesn't come in until episode 5. That's a tease, everybody. If you want to hear Neil actually play the guy I based off of him, he tries to imitate the voice I gave him, and it is wonderful. It's a magical voice, tell you.
I literally ripped my throat out.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
So that brings us to our first segment and possibly our most favorite. That would be fan interaction. That's where us, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. And we do this by reading your comments on the air, and your comments on both YouTube and Facebook and Discord and wherever we find them. Sometimes we ask you guys questions. We also use your votes to potentially decide the arena winner, which I think we might be ending in a tie. I'm not sure.
Oh my.
I can't. What did we pitch last time?
It was turn-based.
Turn-based, right? I don't know that anybody voted. We're gonna read through them, but I don't remember seeing a vote, so might be a tie.
That's all right.
Might be a tie.
My pitch was very bad.
All right, so let's go through it first. Let me get to the newest first, so that we can get this right. All right. So right off the bat, Kev Too Tall. Credit is the devil. Not exactly sure what that means. Then
I didn't finish listening to the episode from last week, but I think it might have been a conversation you and I had between episodes or between recordings about my PC build progress.
oh, that's right. That's right. Got it.
To which I respond, yes, you are correct.
Kev Too Tall. Ooh, shiny. Smiley face. I think he's referring to your tower. I'm not sure. He then said, yay, fan interaction. Yes, always yay, fan interaction. Then he said, I had 3 before you counted. No challenge taken. for the fan interaction thing.
Yeah.
Then he keeps going and says, I don't remember why I wrote out the generations. Because we asked him, remember, he just wrote out the generations for some weird reason. He says, I don't remember why I wrote out the generations or find it in a quick, I'll try and find it in a quick scrub through. I will search harder later, maybe. Then he said Jurassic Park is Universal, also Amblin Entertainment, to which you said, yeah, I realized this. It was too late, and I sounded like a derp in the process.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
And then Phil Billy decided to get in on it again. He says, I am so disappointed in you guys. You are lucky I wasn't a guest, because no way in hell I would have let you move off Star Wars so fast to move on to Who Gives a Shit Cyberpunk. I could talk about Star Wars game theories for 3 hours, and he's got exclamation points in here to prove it. So I will ask the question of the week. He's taking upon himself. What do you want in an open world Ubisoft Star Wars game? So I'm gonna expound on that, Phil Billy. I'm gonna expound on that. What do you want in an open world, in a Star Wars game? Period. Like, what do you want to see in a Star Wars game? I'm gonna read because Phil Billy definitely answered his question right after that, but I figured I could give a couple, just because. Phil Billy, sorry we didn't talk about Star Wars enough, but I do have a couple of things I'd like to see. First of all, as far as the Ubisoft Star Wars game, I would love it to be about the criminal underworld of Star Wars, which we only really touch on in some of the mainstream movies. But I would like you to be able to, right at the beginning, make your character to pick either a smuggler or something along those lines. I'm going to stay away from Bounty Hunter because I know what you pitched. But I would love to pick like a smuggler or like a con man or a thief. And then you have to do work for the Hutts. I think that's a really non-explored part, with the exception of the Solo movie. And I would just love to see more of the criminal underworld of Star Wars. Then the other pitch is a super in-depth, not arcadey, but like simulatory kind of in the way Squadrons was, pod racing game.
Just that Nintendo 64 game that they
I hate that game.
They ported over.
I hate that game.
I remember playing it when it came out back in the day. I mean, I don't remember anything else about it other than I played it. I have not gotten the remaster. That's actually one that I've been kind of thinking about. But then at the same time, ROMs. So,
right. I don't like it because it's too arcadey. I want something like what Squadrons is to the dogfighting. I want to, like, in between matches, be able to work on my pod racing. I want to buy specific parts for it. I want to, like, customize, trick out my pod racer. You
want Need for Speed, but pod racing.
Yeah, or like Forza pod racing. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, that would be some phenomenal shit. Like, make your character from the ground up and just be a pod racer. Like, You take all my money. Seriously, I'll push all my money to the center. Neil, is there anything you'd like to see out of a Star Wars game?
Yeah, I want to see two things. One, I want a game that is Sith focused. Straight up, you are dark side, none of this dark side, but like, oh, actually, going to be a Jedi eventually. Like, no, I want straight up, like, you are a Sith apprentice and you're doing some down and dirty stuff, trying to overthrow. It can play into, whatever the main story if it wants. And
That
the
would
other
be cool.
thing, the other thing that I want, that I feel like Star Wars as a whole needs, just a regular person to be a main character.
Yeah.
Everybody's always got to be touched by Skywalker somewhere along the way,
Right.
or have some secret force power. Like, no, I work with some people who are like that. Interweave it in other ways.
Yeah. Mandalorian.
That's
and that's how that just goes to show that when you do that, it's very successful. Me and Phil have talked about that a lot. That's one of our biggest problems with Star Wars is all the Jedi. And I don't think I don't have anything against Jedi as a characters. It's just they're so heavily focused on, like, let's see some other stuff.
yeah.
And playing with that, this is what Phil Billy answered to his. I saved yours for last there, Phil Billy. I want an open world multiplayer game where you can pick your race, starting planet, end class, i.e. Jedi, Sith, Bounty Hunter, Pirate, etc., where I can play through the story as I choose, making choices affecting my story outcome and dealing with threats, disasters, and side missions along the way as I see fit. Of course, with looting, leveling, and basic mechanics along the way. Please give me this. Phil Billy, I gotta say, what you're describing is the Star Wars version of The Division, so I think that there's a really good chance that you're going to get that.
Well, there's also rumors floating around, too. I had it in an odd end, but I'm just going to throw it out there now that they're working on a new Knights of the Old Republic game.
Oh, that was one of my odds and ends. We finally had a double up.
Yeah, well, sorry I stole it for this.
No, we can talk about that now.
Yeah.
It's topical. They've also said it's not going to be EA or BioWare. And there's all these weird teases on, like, who do you think? Like, you'll never guess who the people working on it is. Like,
that
that's
sort
weird.
of stuff with teases. Those teases, you're never gonna guess.
Right.
It's like
Right.
the dumbest,
Right.
most clickbaity way to generate hype. That is something that you see at the very bottom of a web page. You'll never believe who this celebrity is in this picture.
Right.
And it's like,
but it
go away. I don't care.
I agree, but the quote itself actually came from the people they asked, like Jason Schreier and one of the other people, I think at Lucasfilm. They were like, it's very unexpected who the developer is. Like, and it's like,
that's dumb. They're dumb.
I was like, really? Like, I want it to be like, it turns out it's Activision. Like, it's like, was this surprising to you guys? Like some big name company that you're like, yeah, okay, we get it.
I mean, Activision, Blizzard, it could fit in that realm.
It could. I don't know who I'd choose to do a Knights of the Old Republic, though. That's very interesting. I mean, honestly, I might think Obsidian, but I feel like they're a little bit too busy right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. So that's it for fan traction, man.
Alrighty.
I feel like we actually went through that a lot faster than I thought we were going to.
Yes, we did.
Maybe we'll have a short show this week. Who knows?
Surely you jest.
I do jest. All right. Well, let's head on over to the first talking point there, buddy.
Alrighty.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our first talking point, or as I like to call it, step one into stupid.
Step one into stupid.
Step one into stupid.
Episode name. episode name.
I'll try and remember. I'm
No,
gonna
there
write it
is no
down.
try.
I'm writing it
If
down.
you, I am telling you
Step
right now, if you do not do it, I'm
one
quitting.
Into stupid. All right, it's written down. Step one into
Step
stupid.
one into stupid.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna try and get this right because the chain of events is just so dumb that it's hard for my brain to wrap around it. So once I'm done, feel free to correct anything I get wrong there, Neil.
Okay.
So out of nowhere, this game card, this gift card circulates for. Excuse the belches, guys. Sorry. This gift card circulates for like Xbox Live Gold, but it says $60 for a 12-month subscription, which would basically be double what anybody's paying right now for Xbox Live Gold. So then they're like, this just starts circulating. Everybody's like, holy crap, is this true? So Xbox then confirms that it's true, that they are increasing the price of Xbox Live Gold, which right off the bat is dumb beyond belief. We'll get into that, but it's just dumb. So the world goes crazy, like gets crazy upset with this, and kind of rightfully so. Like even if it doesn't affect you, it's just this company has been really smart about a lot of their decisions and the way, or at least the way they've presented themselves to the public, and this was just so stupid. So then they walk it back like almost immediately. Like this all happens within like 4 days. They confirm it. They say it's definitely going up. Then they start to walk it back. They say, okay, wait. If you still have an existing subscription, the price won't change. But it will go up if you're getting a new subscription, which is just lunacy because why would, like, you're trying to get people into your ecosystem, but we'll get into it. Then they also say, I can't remember. They said something else that was just wonky crazy. And now they've completely walked it back. In addition, any game that's free to play, you don't need Games for Gold anymore. So, and the rumors last year were that Gold was going to go away and be folded into Games Pass.
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of different things that happened there. Mm-hmm. So my take on some of this is, first off, Sony people, rightfully so, jumped on Microsoft's balls for this. So Sony has, a subscription game, like a game service somewhat akin to Game Pass, not even anything close to it, but, but you can still buy $60 for a whole year, and they don't charge you to play to play free-to-play games for online.
Right.
So, I mean, at that point, everybody was like, yeah, Microsoft, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But like the dumbest thing about all that, well, I don't want to say dumbest. I think they knew what they were. No, they knew what they were doing. Okay. They absolutely knew what they were doing because
you're gonna have to convince me of that.
Oh yeah, easy. So they had always had the year for $60.
Okay.
They got rid of those last year.
Okay.
To where you could buy it in 6-month packs, but in that regard, like you'd have to buy 2 6-month packs at once, which would kind of roughly come about to be the same amount.
Yeah, but the year wasn't $60. It was cheaper than that.
Well, here's the thing. It was the year was like what, $49.99 for a whole full year subscription?
No, it was like $40. That's why I would always get the year, because it was super cheap to get the year instead of buy it by 6 months or a month.
Well, no, I remember too. I mean, during the holidays it would go on sale, but I know like GameStop had them for $60, Walmart had them, whatever.
Okay.
But
that's splitting hairs. It went up.
Yeah, it went up. But if you go do the math for it, I had always had Xbox Live as a monthly subscription for $9.99. Okay. After tax, it was like 10 something. So in effect, you would be paying $120 for an entire year if you go month by month.
Right.
So obviously, you want to go ahead and buy those years.
Yep.
because you would save yourself money.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it the way that they were doing it, it would have, no matter what, made the price be somewhere within the ballpark of $120, give or take. Like you'd be saving like $12 if you bought it up front as opposed to subscription.
Right.
They wanted to have people on Game Pass and on Xbox Live via subscription. So they were trying to push people into the subscription of the actual gold service as opposed to like just prepaying for it, because they saw that as money left on the table.
I mean, if you think that's true, I mean, then this is the stupidest possible way to do that they could have done.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like everybody who has had gold knows. Everybody knows that this is a bad deal. This was a bad move. I mean, you and I briefly had a conversation about it. I mean, nobody plays a plethora of games online on Xbox.
Right.
Everybody has their handful that they stick with.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I mean, I only play Halo 5 online from time to time.
Right.
That's about it. So the only reason I even have gold is because I did the Game Pass Ultimate. So I have gold bundled in with it together. And it's also worth considering too, it never came out. Was the price of Game Pass Ultimate going to go up as well?
No, it was not. And that's something. Okay, so that's the part that makes me think of how stupid this is, because as a consumer, as a smart consumer looking at the services that Xbox gives to you, what service is nearly freaking useless and what service is almost criminally undercharged? Like
Yeah.
So much value for what it is. Well, they decided to go ahead and raise the price of the one that's almost useless. Like games, like Xbox Live Gold, it was not terrible, and still has some perks. The big perks that you get from Xbox Live Gold, other than being able to play online, is you also get these like free-to-play weekends. You don't actually get those if you don't have Xbox Live Gold with Gold, like for Xbox, I mean. And you also get these like, the free games monthly, both them and PlayStation, and basically everybody does that now, but Xbox were the first people to start doing that, where they give you like 2 games free a month, In the beginning, these games were awesome. Now they're scraping the bottom barrel. They won't go back to any of the games that they've already done. So like that service is just completely useless. On a whole, the only thing you're getting from it is the ability to play games online and the free to play weekends, which whatever. But Games Pass Ultimate, which gives you tons of AAA games, basically at your fingertips, is only $14.99, and Games Pass is only $9.99, which is even crazier. Games Pass PC is what, like $4.99? Why didn't those go up? Like, if you need to make more money, like, that's where you make the money, because those are, like, criminally undercharging. Like, and don't get me wrong, I like them at the price they're at. I don't want them to go up. But if they went up, I would understand,
Yeah. And
whereas to raise a service that people are like, that half the people are on Xbox Live Games Pass Ultimate anyway, they aren't even thinking about this, and the other half aren't. The only thing this hurt, and this is what's stupid, the only thing this hurt was getting people into your ecosystem, which is what you're all about.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before Game Pass price goes up.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. With them making all their partnerships, bringing in more and more and more, that is one of the few things on the face of this earth. If they were like, hey, we got to charge you an extra $5, I get pissed when Netflix is like, hey, we got to take another $1 out of your account. Like,
I get really pissed at
$1.
Netflix because Netflix keeps dropping shows and they keep charging me more, like, for their originals that I could give 2 shits about, man. Like,
right.
I know this sounds crazy, but I just want to watch Friends for the 97th time, man. And now Friends is on HBO Max and they're $2 cheaper than you. So why am I with you? Like, but Games Pass is like literally like, yes, there is a Sony service, but it pales in comparison.
It does. It pales in comparison
to what Games Pass has. There's nothing like Games Pass right now. There will eventually be tons of services like Games Pass, but for the time being, like, Games Pass is the king. Like, I would have paid more money for that, and I would have done it with a smile on my face still. But right now, like, I also want to point out some of the other stupidity of this, right? In addition to, like, literally costing more money to get into the ecosystem than people who are already in the ecosystem, it would have actually cost $0 to play on PC, which is like, so literally you're like, it's cheaper to play our stuff on a PC than on the console we built.
Right.
Like, and I know that they're all about ecosystem. They don't necessarily care that you get the console, but still, Jesus, guys, like, it doesn't cost any money. Like, if I got Games Pass on PC, I could play all those games online. Like, that's $4.99 a month. I can play all those games online. It's
almost as if I had seen a tweet earlier when I was reading about this whole situation. And I wish I could remember who it was, but it was somebody on Twitter who had said, it's almost as if Microsoft every 6 months or so has to remind you that they suck.
I think every company has to remind you they suck every so often.
Yeah, but Microsoft is just exceptional at the stuff that they pull off. It's just like, they build up all this goodwill with services and forward thinking, like their next gen, their idea of what next gen is, everything like that. It's like, wow, we're starting to come around. It's like, and we're just going to double the price of a service because, well, are you going to give us, like new features and stuff to go with? No, that other one, the other one gets the new features. We just want more. Yeah. And I remember they had said something about, it's like, oh, well, there's more players on Xbox now. We need to expand our infrastructure, stuff like that. I can justify a $2 increase, something like that, not a literal doubling.
Here's what they should have done. They should have gotten rid of games with gold, told everybody they could play for free with free-to-play games, said, hey, the free-to-play weekends and everything else is going to be rolled into the Games Passes, and raise all of those by $2. Make the Games Pass Ultimate $16, make normal Games Pass $12, and make Games Pass PC $6. And then bam, man, you're getting a ton more money. It's all rolled into one. Everybody feels like you're getting a boost because you're not, like, even with raising it that way, when you really break down what they would have been gaining from that price increase, they're not gaining that much from it. They're not, because they're hitting a group of people that doesn't really exist. Like, there are a very select amount of people who just have games with gold.
Yeah.
Or games with gold. Not games with gold, I'm sorry. Just have a very select people who just have gold or golden Games Pass. You know what I mean? Like, most people who have Games Pass are on Games Pass Ultimate, or they don't have gold and they're on something else. You know what I mean? So, like, the only people you're really attacking there are kind of that select few and anybody who's coming into your ecosystem, which you don't want to increase your barrier to entry when you're losing in the numbers already.
And what is just absurd about all of this too is the fact that this all happened. They wanted to raise prices, that and the other, and they almost like, I'm guessing they did it as an apology, but they like negotiated down and was like, oh, and free to play games. Yeah, you don't need gold anymore. Like,
to make up for our stupid, we're going to keep everything the same and you don't need, and now these games you could just play. Phil Spencer actually apologized for this bungle. I didn't read the quote. I just know that he did. What bothers me too, and it's like you said, like, it's like a team that's just making shot after shot after shot in some sports game, because I'm not great with sports analogies. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just, like, for like 3 minutes, miss everything. Like, what happened here? How did you make such a colossal bungle after just, like, maybe they're not winning in everybody's eyes, and I don't necessarily agree with that. The numbers are there to support Sony, but I think if you look at their PR, their rep, I think they're they look much better than Sony does. You know, like they give you more stuff than Sony does. They appear to be more fan forward and consumer forward than Sony does. So in a lot of ways, they've had that PR edge. You know. And this is just the biggest bungle I've ever seen in my life. You just ruin it all on gold, on a service that nobody even cares about anymore. That shouldn't even be there anymore.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. It's just it came out of nowhere. Just like one day.
Yeah.
Literally the day that I had shared something into Discord. It's like, God, I hope this isn't true. It just came out and there were no rumors leading up to it, no hints that something like this could happen. One day, hey, this is a rumor that we heard. Next day, confirmed. Changed the price for like a day, which I didn't even know that they physically went ahead and changed the price that until Kev had said something. So they literally went through and was like, yeah, you know, give us more money. This is real. This is a thing, like right there on a dime. And the next day they're like, yeah, this was dumb. Like
I will, if I'm going to give Microsoft any credit in this situation, I will say that like they saw the reaction and they really were like, okay, we didn't do the right thing here. You know what I mean? Like, and that's nice. That rarely happens with a company, especially nowadays. Usually it's like they try and wash it off, or they try and make excuses, or, you know, whatever. They just basically were like, whoopsie, we're gonna change this around. Sorry about that. That was a real dick move on our part. But yeah, like it's just your story, your little post went up, which was about the gift card being found in the wild.
Yeah.
I read that story, I responded to it, and then I woke up the next morning to an IGN article about how it's gone up. And then I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go. And that's when I messaged you that day.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going hard on Xbox this weekend. And then and I think that was all on Thursday. If I recall correctly, like Wednesday night to Thursday. Like that's how fast this story has like come and gone in some insanity. So then like Friday they were like walking it back already. They didn't walk it back enough. And then like this morning or last night they were like, hey, just kidding, and now you can play all these games for free. Sorry. It was the most ridiculous like quick turnaround I think I've ever seen.
I mean, at least they didn't just like stick to their guns and corporate splain everything away and try and just like, oh, well, this is justified, and
make a 5-minute apology about how the problem isn't them. It's the fact that they had too many things to work on at the same time.
Oh, don't even. That's a sore spot right now.
Don't go down that road. Don't go down the road. I like I said, I do like that they did a thing, and then collectively we punched them in the face for it, and they collectively were like, "You're right, we were stupid," and just took it all back. So at least on that front, that's good. So I can't go as hard as I wanted to, but this is just the stupidest thing.
No, they're dumb for trying.
This is so dumb.
They're dumb for trying.
This is so dumb, and this is one of those moments where, and this next line is all for you, Philbilly, all for you, because I know somewhere you're in a car going, see, and this is one of those moments where you're reminded, no matter how friendly a company is or how nice a company seems to be to you, they still want your money, and they're still willing to do real dirty shit to get it, you know? Yeah. And like, as nice as Xbox is, as nice as fan forward and consumer forward as they feel like they've been, this happens and you're like you still catch them in your pocket every once in a while, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? It's like, sorry. You're right. Shouldn't steal from you. So yeah. So shame on you, Xbox. Shame on you, man. This was some bullshit. This was some bullshit. All right. I think we covered this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. Let's move on to the second talking point.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right. So that brings us to our second talking point, and I'm not gonna lie. This is one we weren't sure what we were gonna do. But Neil had one, and I don't quite understand this one, so I'm gonna hand it off to you there, Neil. You can lead the way on this one, and just what are we talking about?
All right, so as we all know, there's a lot of stuff out there that everybody wants, and no one can get their hands on it. Be it consoles, video cards, all those things, new process, the AMD processors, nobody can get their hands on them. Well, the idea of a lottery has been kind of floated around between different stores and digital fronts and everything. And Newegg took the first step to really implementing something like that. So Newegg had a lottery system basically to where you could sign up for the chance to buy a graphics card or a processor, whatever it is that you're looking for, these very high demand items. If you were chosen, you get to go in, buy what it is that you wanted to buy, and that be the end of it. The problem is that they made you buy them as a bundle with a motherboard. So, and of course, it was reflected in the price. So you're still shelling out $1,200 for that video card that you want.
Right.
But, you're getting a motherboard and paying, you're getting two things for the same price. And 9 times out of 10, people who are looking for those video cards already have a PC and they're looking to upgrade.
Okay.
So they Newegg is also going to start selling the PlayStation 5 as well by that same system, lottery system. And all of this is to try to combat scalpers, and something needs done about the scalpers, and this is the first thing that could really be a solution to the scalping problem.
So wait, explain the lottery system again. They're just like you put your name in a hat, basically?
Well, you sign up for when they have this allotment to be sold, but I didn't get to this part yet. They don't tell people when signups are open. So I had first learned about this. It's called Newegg Shuffle. And they basically give you a 3-hour window to sign up. And that's it. They put a web page up for 3 hours. Sign up the best you can. If you know about it, you know about it. If not, you're screwed. And if you manage to get into that, you still have to be randomly selected.
Oh.
So now we have real life RNG. But
that's tricky.
They've responded to criticism about the procedure, and they said it's in the early stages, this, that, and the other. And they have a good idea on their hands, but there's a lot of other places that started doing this, and they're almost as bad as the scalpers. GameStop got an allotment of consoles next-gen consoles but they were only available online, and they were only available in a bundle for nearly $1,000.
Good God.
So again, like they see this opportunity and they can't just jack the price up like scalpers do. So they do the next best thing and make you buy all this other stuff that you may or may not need.
Right.
I like the idea of a lottery system, but it needs to be less random and sporadic. I would love if this would only really work if they started the entire system out like this.
Okay.
If they did something to where it's like, look, we have, let's just pick an arbitrary number. Every single week we have 100 of these things available for sale. This day is the sign up day. If you want to sign up, this other day is when we make the selection. And then you have a 2-day window afterwards to purchase the thing if you were selected for it.
Right.
And then from there, you just get the thing, and that's good. You don't have to worry about scalpers, anything like that, because now we've got a sub-market that's developed online of those who are selling the bots that are used to scalp. So scalpers are not just scalping consoles, but they're also selling the tools for other people to scalp.
Only in America, baby. That's beautiful.
And this problem's gotten so bad, at least especially with video cards. I had seen somewhere that NVIDIA is actually going to start manufacturing the 2080 cards again. And 2080 cards, if you go on eBay right now, they're starting at $400 and being sold for about $800 sometimes. So you can't even get a previous gen video card right now. These are such crazy high demand items. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, well, just a rundown, just to make sure I have it all exactly right before I start ripping it apart. What they do is they randomly open a 3-hour sign-up for a thing that you need that's in high demand. Then when it closes and they get that thing in, they randomly select out of that sign-up, whoever signed up in that 3 hours, and then that person has to buy the thing or can choose to buy the thing.
So it's one of those things to where they only open the sign up if there is stock to be sold.
Right.
And you have a window of time if you're selected. So they tell you, hey, you were picked via email. You have, it's like 24 hours or something to make your purchase. If you don't make the purchase within that window of time, then you lose it. It's gone.
Okay.
And it goes off to somebody else.
Last question. You had spoken about the bundling of the graphics card with the processor. That's separate from the lottery system, right?
No, that's a part of it. You can only buy. There was talk about changing it to where you can buy just the component, but pretty much all of them are literally combos. And again, because Newegg has changed their return policy, you can't buy the combo pack, return the thing that you don't want for whatever that price would have been for the thing. You literally are just left to sell it online or something, or just hope you actually need that thing.
Okay. Well, I here's the thing. So I liked your idea of correcting the lottery system. I don't think there should be a random 3-hour period generated. I think that when they're going to get stock in, they should know how much stock they're getting. I think the idea of a lottery is a great idea. They should let you know when they're going to have signups, though, in advance. Yeah. And they should take the first so many people that sign up or whatever. Well, no, they should just take whoever signs up, and then it's a lottery, which that's great. It will avoid a lot of scalper issues in that area. The bots won't really be able to work the way they work for that kind of thing, for buying. I like that. I will say this bundling bullshit is like, I honestly think if there's anything that like government should step in and say that this is criminal, it's that. I think that like forcing people to buy a product with other products is like if you went to McDonald's and you just wanted a double cheeseburger and they were like, you have to buy a meal, that's kind of criminal to me. Like, I feel like that's criminal. Like, I should be able to buy anything you have, like, as a product, buy like any item that is sold normally in stores, I should be able to buy normally in stores. I shouldn't have to buy it with a bunch of other fucking junk. And that goes twice as much for Newegg and their comboing with motherboards and stuff.
To your point, I will just say
I love it when you say to your point.
I love
that's one of my favorite sentences you say, because I'm like, yeah, we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially in this regard too. I gotta say, like, the price that they charge for a single cheeseburger at Wendy's outside of a combo is obscene.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would agree with that.
It has no bearing on anything else. You just reminded me of fast food and how ridiculous the pricing structure is.
What's
with
weird
those things.
is McDonald's is actually opposite. If you actually price it out, it's cheaper to not buy the meals and to just
Dude,
buy the single items.
the other day, because I have the app on my phone for mobile ordering, we literally got 50 chicken nuggets. 50 chicken nuggets, 2 fries, 2 drinks for $9. What is that food made out of that it's so cheap? Do you know what? I don't want to know.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's made out of putty goo that comes out of a stick.
But yeah, no, these combo bundle things, like,
yeah, that's criminal.
Even still, it's, and if you look, like you were saying, if you look at the price of these individual items bundled together, if you were to buy them all separate, you're only saving yourself $10.
Right.
Like,
what bothers me about it is the bundles should never be available before the solo things. Like, I like the idea of a bundle if I need to buy a bunch of things. Like, I'm good with that. But I should be able to buy the thing by itself. You shouldn't be able, like, if you don't have enough to sell the thing, you shouldn't be able to sell the bundles. And what bothers me is if you run out of the thing, then the bundles should immediately become the thing, and then little things. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, it shouldn't be a bundle anymore. Like, that kind of stuff, it should be criminal. If there's anything the government should step in on, it's that. You gotta stop these companies from, like, well, they want this thing so bad, we're gonna make them buy this other thing, and that's just that's criminal to me. It's criminal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I said, my take on that is that they are doing whatever they can to get that extra money, because they know full well that people will still, it's going to be less than buying it from a scalper. And they can move extra merchandise, it's more sales, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, capitalism. It's just ridiculous that they have found that as their own little personal workarounds. It's just, we are in such a spot and time with how the world is in general, and people are still finding a way to make money off the situation, no matter how they can find a way to do it.
Right.
And this isn't new. The bundling thing isn't new. They've been doing it with Switches. They've been doing it, everything, other consoles for years. But now, because of the situation that we're in with the supply chain and how manufacturing has been wrecked in the way that it has, that now this problem is brought to the forefront. And there's gonna come a time where the scalpers, it's going to catch up. The scalpers are going to lose interest. They're going to go to something else.
Yep.
This, that, and the other. And that's fine. It's just a waiting game. It sucks because, again, like myself, I've been building my computer, but like, I know full well, especially given the fact that even the 2070s and 2080s are going for hundreds over what they should be going. It's like, I'm on hold until summer, basically.
Right.
It's before I can do anything, because I refuse to shell out that extra money to a scalper.
Well, and you should wait. I think that, yeah. I mean, you should definitely wait. You shouldn't spend that money to a scalper. I don't necessarily blame the scalpers because of the position the world has put them in. It's kind of hard for me to say to them, well, you have a way to make money. I don't know how, like, especially in America.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about money. Like, do for your family. I get it. I don't like it. I don't like that you're doing it, but at the same time, you've found a way to make a ton of money on something. Knock yourself out. What I will say I don't necessarily like, I don't mind them scalping it or buying extra things. What I don't necessarily like is them writing these programs to get them 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that, like, gets me a little bit irritated. Like, buy more than them if you can, but, like, when you're buying, like, 80 of the fucking things, like, then you're depriving other people for scalping purposes. That's a little irritating in my opinion.
And it's also attracting, like, because it's so lucrative as it is right now. Like, there's a guy that I work with who I was complaining about the situation, and he came up to me. He said, wait a second. they go for how much normally, and they're selling for what now? And like, he didn't understand the situation. He's like, if I give you $5,000, will you go buy 10 of them and sell them for me? It's like, no, nobody can get like one
Yeah.
unless,
Yeah.
you're,
Unless you already
unless you,
have them, you
unless
don't
you,
have them.
yeah, or like you have bots or stuff like that. But like, it's attracting people from outside the realm of gaming.
Right. And why wouldn't it? Like, I mean, it's a very, and honestly, like I said, I don't necessarily blame those people. Like, it's a clear money making thing, like,
Yeah.
and America's all about making money. Like, it really is. And if you can make money for your family, especially if you're not a company, like, and you see an opening like that, I kind of see it. The people who are really perpetuating this problem are the companies making them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't release the fuckers till you got enough. Like, and I know there's always going to be at least a little shortage, but again, I go back to this. They should have waited a year for the consoles, and honestly, the same thing for the graphics cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the graphics card stuff has been hitting some older models, which is unexpected, but still, like just wait until you have the product to actually put it out and start selling it, because when you don't, you create this kind of almost criminal situation,
Yeah.
And as far as the companies and this bundling stuff, man, you guys got to stop doing that shit. That is wrong on the most basic. I hate that more than the scalpers. Like that to me is like, you have the product and you're not selling it in the way that people want it to be sold.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add to this, or you want to move on to odds and ends?
No, let's go ahead.
All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to odds and ends. This is the segment where we like to collect smaller news stories that don't necessarily deserve an entire talking point, but things that we feel are worth mentioning at the time. And we just like to rattle them off to you guys, say a little bit about them, and just move on. So Neil's got 5. I've only got 3, so I'm going to let Neil start this one off.
All right. Well, in keeping with the topic of scalpers, scalpers in the UK and hopefully following suit here at home are being targeted by the government. A legislator in the UK government has proposed a bill to officially target scalpers as they are hurting the fair market. It is unsure exactly how they are going to be targeted, especially given the fact that they use bots. I mean,
yeah, that'd be
IP
really
addresses. Hard. Yeah, I mean, you can track IP addresses, but VPN. These people who do this stuff aren't dumb.
No, if you got a bot to game the system, you're not going to be doing it without a VPN. Like, it's just
right.
Like, it's silly to think. Like, that kind of seems hollow to me. And again, I don't necessarily think that the scalpers are the people that need to be stopped. They're not the people directly creating the problem. They are a symptom of the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you get the flu, like you don't get the pukes. You get the flu, which causes you to puke. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just what the scalpers are. The scalpers are the puke that comes with the flu, and the flu comes from these companies not making enough product before they start selling them.
Right.
Do you wanna go with another one now, or have 2 at the end, since you got 5?
I'll just go with another one now.
Go for it.
So, of course, COVID and is still running around, and a bunch of movies have been delayed.
Oh.
One movie in particular that I have been hyped for is the Uncharted movie. Was originally supposed to be coming out July this year. It has now been delayed to February 11th, 2020. No movies forever until the end of time.
You know what's weird about movies? Is they've never had delays like this, and now all of a sudden they are being delayed like video games. Like, that's what I was thinking the other day. I'm like, all these movies they're acting like video games now. They're all having these weird delays. Honestly, I don't even think it's because they're not done though. You know what I think it is personally? If you notice where all these are moving to, they are all moving into the holiday season, and that's because they're realizing that people aren't going to the theaters anymore, so they're moving these into places where, and I think a lot of these are going to be like, they're being delayed now, and then we're going to hear about how they're coming to certain streaming services be,
There's some,
alongside theater releases, kind of like the HBO Max thing. Because
yeah,
as dirty as a lot of people think that is, I think that they're like, well, we're going to move it to the holiday season where everybody's inside looking for streaming movies instead of move it to the summer season where everybody's looking for somewhere to like go out and have fun, you know?
I mean, my thing, I think it's strictly purely them trying to maximize their dollars because there are some states who have the social distancing. Marvel
Right.
movies can't cram a theater
Right.
full of people anymore, even if they are open. I
Well,
mean, the theaters over in my area here are all closed.
well, that's the
You
thing.
can only
I don't think they're even looking at the theaters anymore. Like I think they're all like especially after the HBO Max thing, they're all looking at like how do we switch out of the theater? And most of these movies that are coming out have places to directly go. Like Disney Plus, man, all Marvel movies go to Disney Plus, man. So like I mean they don't go to Disney Plus right away, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear an announcement where all the Marvel movies coming out are going to go directly to Disney Plus alongside the theatrical release, just like all the Warner Brothers are going to HBO Max alongside the theatrical release. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these other delays start to like partner up with streaming services in the same way because that's where they're going to start making money.
I mean, I know with like Disney tried it with Mulan to where it was you pay $30 to like
Yeah,
see the movie like
Yeah.
in the theater experience or whatever, but that must not have worked out too well because
That
they
didn't.
refused to put Black Widow on there. There's already talk of them delaying it yet again. So
yeah, but I bet you Black Widow does come. I don't think that the Mulan thing worked out. Because from what I hear, Mulan was not a good movie. Like it wasn't a good remake. But B, the premium thing, like I think really messed them up. The whole like trying to have $30 ahead of time and then just releasing it on Disney Plus anyway, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think what they need to do is they need to do what Warner Brothers does if they're going to do it and just commit and be like, our movies are going to be on there for 31 days and then they'll be gone. But they'll be alongside theatrical releases, you know. Or put them into VOD, which those have been very successful. The whole like, and those are more expensive. Those are usually like $20, and you get to see them. You get to rent the movie for like a day or whatever. But I mean, that saw a lot of success with like Sonic the Hedgehog, which actually did good in theater and then did good again on VOD. And then there was a couple others that like launched straight into that did good. So I feel like they're all going to be looking to like cut out the theater scene. Unfortunately, I don't foresee a theater scene being around much longer.
No. And that's MovieCast.
Well, you got a little game in there because it was the Uncharted one. I like how you tied that in.
That's where I started with.
You found that link. I like that. All right, so I'm gonna start with all mine are either really depressing or just annoying. So I'm gonna start with the most annoying. Cyberpunk released their first Save the World patch that they've been talking about. And they've been talking about this forever. Our first patch is coming. It's coming and it's going to fix a lot of stuff and you're going to be happy with it. And that patch, do you know what it also included, Neil? I know you do because you experienced it. A game-breaking glitch.
Well, I didn't experience that one. I experienced something completely different.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you had experienced that one.
Oh no, not that one. No.
Yeah, but that one it came right along the with the patch, and I found that hysterical to me that their fix the game patch came with another bug, so another big bug from what I understand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's that. Good luck, CD Projekt Red. Anyways,
we're gonna come back to them on my next talking point.
Oh Christ! All right. Well, speaking of games that are doomed from the start, I guess. Well, not so much with this information. It looks like Halo Infinite may actually come out this year.
Yeah.
Because 343 is actively planning multiple beta tests in 2021, and I actually signed up for the possibility to get into the beta on
awesome.
PC or Xbox. So we will see.
You'll have to do a first impressions video for the channel if you get in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's one of those. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about every delay, but I think
Yeah.
that one's gonna be a 2022 game. I really do. I think there's just too much work needs to be done on that thing, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. My next one, back to CDPR, a second class action lawsuit has been filed against them for fraud by potential investors. So if you guys are counting out there, that's two lawsuits. And what's funny to me is this game, we just found out, I think in the last couple of days, that Cyberpunk 2077, if you look at only their launch, is the highest grossing digital seller in games history.
Yeah.
And you know that more than half of those have now gone back in refunds. And now they have 2 class action lawsuits against them. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy world we live in right now with gaming.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, Burn Baby Burn, man. That company's going to have a real bad couple of years.
Yeah, I really want to see how this whole saga plays out.
Yeah, it sucks too. I don't even want to talk about them as much anymore, but it's just when you peruse the news sites, it's like you see it and you're like, yeah, and you're like, I got to mention this. We've covered it. I got to say something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I want to talk about something else, but I find them and I'm like, I got to say something, you know?
So, in other news, Vicarious Visions is now a part of Activision Blizzard. And is apparently working on a Diablo 2 remake.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yes. They had said somewhere I saw online they had the name of what the Diablo 2 remake would be called. That's not officially announced yet. It's a lot of rumor flying around, but I mean they're the ones that did the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remakes, so
yeah,
they have some remake experience under their belt. So we shall see.
Yeah, that should be interesting. I mean, I'm not a Diablo guy, but we should. That's an interesting pairing right there. All right, so my next one's kind of a big one.
All right.
And I don't even know if this is actually like games related. It's just something that I saw on IGN and I had to bring up. But Microsoft has patented this insane technology that allows people to create online bots.
Oh my God! I saw this.
Neil, this is totally crazy. Basically, what it does, what this technology does, is it's a computer program that you tell it the name of your dead loved one. It finds all the social media, internet presences of your dead loved one, and then it formulates a personality based on that, and so that you can have conversations with dead people.
Do you want Skynet? Do you want Skynet? Because this
totally
is how you get
insane.
Skynet.
This is how we get
this
Skynet.
This is the first step.
It's not even it's beyond Skynet for me. Like Skynet to me is like AI. Okay, that's scary. Personally, I don't think AI is scary because I've seen real intelligence, and anybody who has real intelligence just kind of looks to kill it as fast as humanly possible, like kill their own, like with drugs and shit. So like I can't see. I feel like artificial intelligence is just gonna be like a computer that tries to get out of shit. Like shook its chores and just play video games all day. Like that's what I feel like artificial intelligence ends up looking like. But this is crazy. This is ghosts. This is computer ghosts. This is insane, man.
This is mild spoilers. This is literally Ready Player 2.
Oh, really?
I read the book. This is literally Ready Player 2.
Yeah,
Literally Ready Player 2.
I can't think of like a more apt oh man, I'm failing to talk right now. A more apt example of just because we can.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we shouldn't. Like, so where is the person asking, but why though? Like, what really is crazy to me is, are you going to how would you monetize this?
There's so many. It's like you're digitizing a personality, and at
Yes.
that point, well, I mean, just think of it just surface level for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're
Yeah.
digitizing a personality, you have all this information, this, that, and the other. Let's say a really smart coder or whatever goes in, alters the code to change the personality. Do you then create another like person, so to speak?
Well, I mean, I
Or
got one for you, man, because even before that happens, if a bot is pulling from all of your social, like if somebody pulled from all of my social media experience, they would get something near me. They certainly wouldn't get me though. So like you got to remember they're only pulling from the stuff that they can find online. And while you can find a lot online of a person, you can't find everything. So that means whatever it is already different. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's already a different person. Like right off the bat, that's not necessarily the person. Like it's
Well,
the fact. It's a facsimile of the person based on their internet shit, and that's
I
crazy.
I really feel bad for whoever does that to me in the future, because I just have this vision of somebody just like who knew me. I died, and like I really want to talk to him just to, feel like I'm having a conversation, typing out, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then it's just responding with memes. It's just gonna be memes and stupid shit. That's all it's
Right,
gonna be.
right. It just gets right. Yeah, mine would be mine would be crazy like that. I hope it doesn't do search engine history either, too.
If it is
Then it's
anything
bad. Then I'll just be yelling obscene porn shit at them. Like,
If it
be
is
like,
anything remotely close to those hyper specific sweaters that Facebook tries to sell you, we still have a ways off before this
yeah.
technology even does anything.
I mean, I'm sure we got a ways off from the technology. It's just kind of crazy technology to me.
Right.
And I don't understand, like, how do you make money? Like, if you're a business and you're patenting something, that means you intend to make money off of it. So you're literally going to sell people their dead loved ones. How is that going to look? Like, like, that's crazy. Like, do you want to talk to mom again? Well, you can talk to mom and dad if they're both dead for $19.95. Like, that's fucking lunacy to me. Like, you can't do that, like, and get away with it without, like, people shitting all over you, you know? So the
Right.
only other thing is to give it away for free. That doesn't make you any money. Why would you be working on it? It's crazy.
Oh no!
Like, why would
They're gonna
anybody do this?
They're gonna repurpose our psyche to sell people shit. Guaranteed.
Uh,
Guaranteed.
From the makers of Games Pass Ultimate, it's now Games Pass Ethereal. Not only can you play all these AAA games for $14.99, but you can also talk to your dead grandmother.
Oh my god. That way you can sit there and stare at what like your grandparent is like posting a message
Right.
on your wall,
Right.
and then you can be mad because it's still there. It's like, oh, I went to the grocery store yesterday, like on the Facebook wall. Oh,
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, can they post? Can they post on social media as them?
hey, if that's the case, if that's where we go with this, it's like you are literally creating actual artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It's artificial intelligence based off of actual
Right,
literal
right. It's not even like
personality.
you're not creating artificial intelligence, Neil. You're creating ghosts in a world where ghosts are fiction. You're literally creating them. That's
Is this the
insane to me.
second step to stupid?
Right. You know that horror movie premise? Let's make that a reality. Oh my god. Next, we're gonna build a robot predator. Okay,
Oh god.
so that's it for me on odds and ends. It's
It'll be
all
like
you.
Futurama. Just strap Ronald Reagan's disembodied head to it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So back to actual podcast things now that we've created an alternate sci-fi reality. Sounded like a damn 80s movie.
It did.
So my last one is a little interesting. So there is an individual named Tyler McVicker, and he is an industry insider with a very good track record of information in the past. And he put a statement out on Twitter some very interesting things about Bethesda. first and foremost, Fallout New Vegas 2 is apparently in development. I'm assuming Bethesda is working with Obsidian for that, because I can't see them taking New Vegas away from Obsidian to give it back to Bethesda when Bethesda gave it to Obsidian in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's still in early development, though. Starfield is apparently still a year or two out, which does not surprise me.
Right.
And apparently, The Elder Scrolls 6 is expected around 2026 at the earliest.
Yeah. Like, why
Because
did they
of
ever
COVID.
even show that shit?
Because Todd Howard needed something to say to get goodwill back. So they figured
he
they'd
didn't,
dangle
though.
a carrot.
He announced this, Neil, you forget, man. He announced this at the same E3 briefing as 76. 76 hadn't even come out.
One?
That was the same conference,
God.
bro. I watched that conference. He literally moved from 76 to it started with a teaser of Starfield, then he talked about 76 for nearly the entire thing, and then he was like, and here's a little teaser to end it with, and then you got that landscape teaser of Elder Scrolls 6. It was all the same show, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, like it's not even a goodwill thing.
Separate shows.
No, it's not even a goodwill thing. It was literally at the same damn show.
Well,
okay.
There's that, at least.
All right, well, that's it for odds and ends, right? We can go to Horrible Arena?
Yeah.
All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
That brings us to the end of the show, the main event, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Horrible Arena. Sorry, my excitement level is low. My face hurts. What is
Does
the Horrible...
because it's killing me.
Oh, where's the rim shot for that? What's the Horrible Arena if you've never listened before? The Horrible Arena is where myself and Neil, we pitch you guys a game based on pre-existing criteria that either a guest picks, if we have one, or we take turns picking. We then pitch you the title of the game, the developer of the game, and what the actual game will be. Then you guys get to take to all the places, the YouTube comments, the Discord, whatever, and tell us which one you'd spend your hard-earned money on, and we decide based on that. Now, last week... it's a tie. Nobody voted. We haven't had one of those in a while, but we did. So it's a wash. So we're still 11-11, all tied up. But the criteria is a little bit different this week. It is bad game. And instead of telling us which one you're going to spend your hard-earned money on, tell us which one you would not spend your hard-earned money on. Or vice versa. But the one you actually vote for, if you're spending your money, will not be the one that wins. We're trying to pitch you guys the worst game based on that. That's what we're trying to pitch you guys. And the Quantum Coin has been tossed. I won, so I get to pitch. So this was a tough one, Neil. I feel as though conceptually we should have put a couple more rules on this.
Probably.
But I had a heart because I figured I could just make some silly joke game. Like I could just say like Die Hard the Romance Simulator. And,
why didn't you pitch that?
What?
Why didn't you pitch that?
Because that would never happen. There would never be that in the world. So I wanted to pitch something that was within the realm of possibility. I also wanted to pitch based on something I hate. I would hate to play. So, like, a thing that is truly bad in my opinion. So, here we go. My game is Project Before Wick. So, a game that I absolutely hate to type. I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to pitch it as if it's a real game. All right. So this would be developed by the developer of Hatoful Boyfriend. I don't remember what developer that was, but that would be who it is. I didn't look it up. Sorry, guys. Just didn't do that prep. But this would be a visual playable novel. Like one of those type of things where it's all text and just like a still dude talking to you, and then you can select the options beforehand. What would this game be? Well, it would be John Wick. Don't get excited. It is not an action game with John Wick. It is the game about John Wick and his dead wife getting together. It's a prequel. Because really, there's one aspect of the John Wick story that just isn't expounded on anywhere. How did this super murder, super assassin ever meet this normal reporter and fall in love with her? How did he stop killing everyone around him long enough to be like, hey, want to get a cup of coffee? Well, now you get to find out through a visual novel. Sure, there's some action scenes, but you're not going to play through them. You're just going to see them kind of acted out on the screen. And you're going to play John Wick, and you're going to get to make decisions kind of wooing this woman and having to decide between killing everyone around you or saying something nice to the girl. So sorry, something about that made me giggle a little bit. So basically that's the game. You will play through the 5 chapters. You will actually play through every part of the John Wick's relationship with this, like getting with her. You'll also play with getting out. Of course, not any of the fun action scenes, just the talking to people. And then you will and then you will actually play through her getting cancer and dying, and that's where the game would end.
Through cancer.
Right at the beginning,
be laughing at that.
Right at the beginning, where it leads into John Wick 1, it would actually end on kind of a heartfelt note of right before you wouldn't actually see her dying, but it would actually show her ordering the puppy and setting up the puppy for John Wick to get in the first movie to set up that first movie. Now that my pitch is done, I do just want to say real quick, one of the reasons I decided to pitch this straight up is I felt like one of the things I wanted to pitch it straight up like it mattered, because I felt like that's the way you had to do it, so that people could hate it properly. But the reasons I would hate this game is I hate any game that has no voice acting and is all text-based, and a visual novel is like purgatory for me. And then I can't think of a thing in a John Wick game I would less want to do. And the worst thing about this is I would probably have to get this because I love John Wick so much, and it would just be excruciating pain for me. So that's my project before Wick. There you go. I'm gonna look up the developer of Hatoful Boyfriend. I forgot to do it earlier, but
I gotta say, if that game that you just pitched was only like $5, as long as I could get like 2 hours out of it, I think I'd be cool. I think I would actually put money towards it.
Like, it sucks because like part of me thinks it's an interesting premise. It's just I would never want to play it ever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I do feel bad that we didn't really set enough parameters for this. I guess that's kind of my fault because I totally went a different direction with my pitch.
Mediatonic is Hatoful Boyfriend. Mediatonic. Hatoful Boyfriend. You went a different pitch. Yeah, we should have set some more parameters.
Totally different.
I really put a lot of thought into this, and I was like, how do I pitch a bad game without just looking like I took a shit in my hand and tried to show it to everybody? You know what I mean?
Well, now I have poop on my hand, so I guess I'll just get into this one.
All right, do it.
Okay. So my game is going to be called Project Endless, and it's going to be done by Kojima.
Well, I already wouldn't buy it, that's for sure. I'd definitely buy mine over anything Kojima makes.
So Project Endless would be a full-price single-player, but somehow still always online live service for no really other reason other than to charge $70 because reasons.
Okay.
That follows your randomly generated character on an epic journey throughout the history of a planet to unlock the secrets of, I don't know, like a burrito or something frozen in time. And you and your trusty sidekick, a literal piece of paper, are the only ones you can solve your qualm because Kojima. The planet would have randomly generated scenarios that occur that you must react to, and these events would then shape future events of the game. However, there's also a 20% chance that the event could kill your character, and death is permanent. So you have to start over again if it happens.
Holy Lord.
However, if you do get killed, the player would be offered an opportunity to spend $9.99 to continue throughout your quest. Um, as the game progresses, the possible choices that could have been made branch off into alternate realities. However, you will not know if you're on the right path until you reach the end of that scenario. So you would have to go back and attempt the other scenarios until you pick the right one. The game would also feature events that randomly occur in the same exact areas, in the same exact time, where the same exact boss that needs defeated the same exact way will drop the same exact stuff every single time. And they pop up on the map and will stay. If you stay in that area too long, you'll be automatically sucked and locked into it, and you can't leave until it's over. However, hint packs are also going to be available for $3.99 that will highlight the correct scenario that you must choose to go through. These hint packs also give your character a temporary buff that makes them nearly invincible and lets them essentially walk through enemies. One of these packs will be provided to the player at the beginning of the game to give them a taste of the power they could have if only they opened their wallet and weren't so cheap. They will also remind the player that they are available for purchase if they haven't made any progress in the game in the last half hour. The game would primarily be a third-person shooter with motion controls, but would also feature melee combat in first person as well. Each new scenario is level gated as well. So grinding is an absolute must to progress. With an endgame grind loop that features the same 4 scenarios over and over that only have a 1% chance to drop any loot that's actually worth a damn. The game would progress for about 80 hours until you reach the final boss, that is the disembodied head of Hideo Kojima himself. The only way to beat him is you can't. He already took your money. He already wasted your time. He won. Game over. That's my game.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
I could totally see Kojima making that shit, and then he would play
That's...
it off. He would play it off as like, I've spoken out against consumerism.
It's an introspective journey into consumerism.
Right. And that's totally how he would play it off. Is that the roll credits is he always wins. That's interesting, man. We definitely did good paths. I want to say I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't even know how we're going to really judge this based on the voting. You can't
judge these. You literally can't judge these two things against each other.
But
I did such a bad job at setting this one up.
But yours was funny. Like way funny. I love the it would have shooting in third person with motion controls and also feature first person melee. Like the worst way to use those views.
Right.
All right, well there you guys go. You have your 2 choices. That would be project. Oh, what was your project name? I missed it.
You know what? I already closed out the sticky note on my computer. I can't even. I think I said it. If not, fucking Kojima turd. I don't know.
I'm not going to name it Kojima turd. I'm going to say Project Kojima. Project Kojima versus Project Before Wick. You guys get to go to the all the places and decide which one you don't want to play. And let us know in the comments, and then we'll decide next week. I get to pick now, and we're going to go a little bit more traditional for this, but I do want to get a little original on you there, Neil. Okay. I want to make us think on this one since we're still tied. We might not be tied after this week, but it's a close battle, so I want a really good pitch. So I want you to pitch a game with a new genre, like a game that's a new genre. And this is kind of in honor of Control, because Control is such, like, the mechanics are very straightforward, but it's such a crazy story that it's a genre unto itself. So I want you to pitch a new genre. It can feature new mechanics or have basic mechanics, but it has to be so crazy, either in, not crazy, but so different either in story or mechanics that it's its own thing. Can't be compared to anything else. So
I think I might have one already.
No, that's awesome. I'm excited about this one because I don't have one. I'm gonna have to really put some thought into it.
The one that I'm if I go with what I'm thinking about right now is something that first and foremost I thought was something else that did exist, and I was wrong once I played that thing. But this is something that it's weird and dumb marrying these things together, but I would throw cash down immediately.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, we'll pitch it next week, and until then, everybody go decide which game you don't want of these 2 trash fires. And we'll be back to tell you in all the places that you can do that in just a second.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that brings. Neil, you got anything special you want to plug this week?
You know what? Halo Infinite Road Season 2. It's coming.
It is coming. It's coming.
coming.
It's coming this week, actually.
Coming this week.
It's coming
this week.
Yes.
Creeping on up through.
Yeah.
Creeping up on through. We're starting Halo 2, and it's the Halo 2 anniversary on PC, and I now have learned the limits of my laptop. So
we're actually much better in this one too, like all the way around. I think we only have like one death per episode this time around. I mean, that isn't caused by us trying to murder each other.
I was about to say, yeah, outside of stupid bullshit and shenanigans.
The whole show is stupid bullshit shenanigans. If you guys don't like stupid bullshit shenanigans, seriously, we've got other shows for you. That's not the one.
That are also different types of bullshit shenanigans.
That's true. So I've got a couple of plugs. Number one is kind of a past plug. Listen, guys, I do not do as good an editing job as Neil does on the Terrible Talks, but I do also do Terrible Talks, and I dropped one this last Thursday, and I urge you guys to go check it out. It is about 16 minutes, and it's basically I'm telling you why I think Bethesda will never be exclusive to Xbox platform, and I think exclusivity is not just a dumb decision for gaming. I think it's a dumb business decision. It doesn't make you any money.
And I gotta tell you,
yeah,
he's right.
Hey,
right.
Thanks, Neil. Did you like the video?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I listened to it.
Oh,
but
okay. I actually did it up a little bit. I did some like I did
see
some
that there
little
was a brief
screenshots and stuff.
Yeah, I did see that briefly, but I listened to it. Yeah, I actually had meant to comment, but I was listening at work.
Hey, you listen. You like? I mean, it's got some traction. It's up to like 40 views right now, so I'm kind of proud of that. Yeah, proud of that. So you liked it then?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Thank you.
agreed. I think there might have been one thing that I was like kind of wishy-washy on, but
Right.
like damn near everything. Like, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. I appreciate it. That means a lot. And then as far as right now, you could stop what you're doing and go back to, because season 2 of OMG Wrestling just launched yesterday, and like I can't tell you how much fun, like how much work, but how much fun I put into this show. So, and yeah, actually, your wife lended her voice on this first episode too.
Oh.
So yeah,
I love how you just like, just stop and go back to and you just like abandoned whatever statement you were gonna make.
I was.
It was just watch it.
Just
I don't
watch
care.
it. Just watch it. Yeah, it's out, and those will start coming out. It's going to be a 16-episode season. They will be coming out weekly, one each Monday, I think. We might take a 1-week break between week 8 and week 9, depending on how on top of things we are. But for the most part, it's going to be a 16-episode series, a season with them coming out 4 p.m. on Monday. So please check them out. They're a lot of fun. They're long, but they're good. Like, just if you got some time to just sit down and watch some digital wrestling, it's a good time for you. And then, as far as the rest of the stuff, you guys can contact us on Facebook at Old Man Gaming DH, on Twitter at Old Man Gaming 9. You can join our Discord. The link is in the description below. You can influence this and all of our shows from there. You can find tons of Let's Plays, tons of shows that we have here on the channel. Please check them out. And if you like anything you see, subscribe, share, click the bell on. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk to you. We're just trying to grow the channel. And every time you guys watch and do any of those things, you help some weird old guys live a dream. So
I mean, you talk for yourself. I'm only one of those things. I'll let you decide which one that is.
yeah, he's definitely not weird. No, he's not old. I'm the old one. I'm really the only old one, but I'm the
You're the
founder, so that's why I get
older
to call it that way. So anyway, you derailed me, guys. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next week.
Doodles.
All the way around, it was probably a good decision. It just, it's still it's tough. But like I said, that's minor bitches, minor bitches.
Minor bitches, big bitches, minor bitches.
I don't mess with no minor bitches.
You don't mess with minor
No,
bitches.
only major bitches.
Major bitches. There's now a bitches ranking system.
That it's just minor and major. That's it. It's just minor. Oh well, there's basic, I guess.
They're like
that's new, though.
constellations in the sky.
Oh yeah, bitch major and bitch minor.
Bitch minor and bitch major.